Alright, let's talk about Mike Barnes. Here's the interesting thing about Mike Barnes. He's actually not really a Cobra Kai. In fact, Karate's bad boy, we don't actually know where he's from. The origin of Mike Barnes is actually very mysterious.
So now we gotta jump into the mystery that is Mike Barnes. Who was he? Who is he? And who did he become? And Cobra Kai Season 5, we are going to find out, finally, who is, who was, who did Mike Barnes become. And most importantly, no one talks about Mike Barnes. Who was Mike Barnes' original sensei? Remember, in the Karate Kid universe, it seems like the whole world revolves around a bunch of karate practitioners, senseis, and fighters that are all situated in California and Los Angeles. All from LA. And yet, the karate world is a huge place. And yet, we never got to explore Mike Barnes' true origin story. Think about it. Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso, these are historic characters within this storyline. And yet, within the storyline, it has been said or shown that there are true unseen characters, just like Master Kim Sun Young, who are at the Miyagi level. So, this brings us to Mike Barnes. Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso, at their peak, were All Valley champions. Mike Barnes, at his peak, was the national champion. This means the whole United States. He was the best karateka in his age range. And this brings us to the man, to the sensei that trained Mike Barnes to be the national champion in karate. No one ever talks about or mentions who was this person and what kind of training did he give Mike Barnes. He, or maybe perhaps she, gave Mike Barnes, but probably he, okay? This is the 80s, sorry. But who was he and how did he train Mike Barnes that turned Mike Barnes into the animal that he became? Or is it possible that in some strange ways Mike Barnes was so talented and gifted and yet had such a hard life that he was able to make himself a champion through rage, anger, and talent? On top of rage, anger, and talent, is it possible that a family member of Mike Barnes was also a dojo owner, perhaps a father, an uncle, or a godfather, or whatever, may have been a mentor of Mike Barnes and a family member in terms of karate, but they may have been abusive towards him physically, or neglectful towards him emotionally. I mean, think about it. In what universe does a parent let his kid jump on a plane to go to LA for reasons of being used as a tool, an instrument of revenge against another high school kid, and a revenge orchestrated by a multi-billionaire living in LA, and you have to go live with him? I mean, either his parents have been very abusive towards him and neglectful, and they don't care about him or what Mike Barnes does in his time. There's no discipline, there's no oh, my kid went missing, blah blah blah. Or they may have a very, very understanding parents, or the parents may be very money hungry as well and motivated to get that paper too. They want to get paid as well, get that cash money, that that quicksilver money. So we don't know what the story is. See, his parents, his sensei. I mean, think about it. If your student is a national champion, how would you feel like he just disappears, goes to LA to possibly own a franchise of a karate dojo, despite the fact that he was a national champion under your guidance? I mean, that would kind of piss you off or make you curious or just like, well, what's going on? And apparently, according to Sean Kanan and the writers, Mike Barnes is supposed to be 10th degree black belt. Okay, so what style is this where a 17-year-old kid can be a 10th degree black belt? My theory is it's either, his like parents, like uncle, father, that own a dojo that's kind of like McDojo, but they also have like legit practitioners too. It's like a hybrid dojo, and McDojo people are kind of greedy too. Like they want that money, and so they may have a recreational program that collects money. Get the kids in through the door, and they may have a serious competition team as well that works towards developing serious talented practitioners like Mike Barnes, and then you got the recreational aspect that makes the dojo or the gym money. So my prediction is the person that trained Mike Barnes may have been a father or an uncle, and it's possible that they're also money hungry, so they sent Mike Barnes voluntarily, like with their blessing. Mike Barnes was sent to Cobra Kai, or he came from an abusive family. He never had any senseis, and he just trained himself. And he fabricated his 10th degree black belt because it was justified, because of the fact that he's kicking everyone's ass. So he was like, all right, well, I'm 10th degree black belt because I'm awesome, because I'm Mike Barnes.